Good morning. This is Steve O'Hare from Signal Centre, and today is Wednesday, the 28th of April 2021. Today I'm going to run through the technical analysis outlook on both WTI crude oil and Brent crude oil. Now we'll start with the WTI, and first of all we'll look at the weekly chart. Obviously we can see the collapse in oil prices last year in April, and what year it's been. We've seen the big huge move up in these levels, and but we have stalled over the past couple of months around about these previous swing highs. So prices which we saw 66.53, that was back in April 2019. So we've had this huge dip down one year and the huge rally back the next year. The more recent high is 67.80. As we can see highlighted on the chart here, and the weekly chart from last week was a little bit indecisive, so a little bit of a stall in this reaction higher from the swing low, which comes in just above $57. And so we'll move to the daily chart to try and get a little bit more color, have a look a bit at the closer price action. We've got this upward supporting trend line that comes in around about $55. And again, we think we've got to just watch this, the 57.20 level on the downside. That is a bit of a line in the sand for me. I think if we get a break there, then there's good potential to make a move down towards the $54 area where we saw this move higher. There'll be almost a vacuum of support. I think we'll get sucked down towards $54 if we managed to break $57 on the downside. Currently we're trading a lot higher than that. We're trading at 62.76. So if we focus a little bit more on what we've seen over the last week, we saw the correction lower over a couple of days and then saw support come in just above $60. So that would be the first level to watch. The 4-hour chart, I've highlighted these levels to make it a little bit clearer. Let's hide these volume, hide the MACD, and really focus on the levels. So we can see this short-term double bottom. The neckline was at 62.38. We broke above it, so there's good potential now for a move towards 64.33. That would be the first major resistance, and normally when we get a double bottom like that, the move higher would normally be projected as the level from the double bottom up towards the neckline, which comes in at 62.33. So that's targeting a move to $64, and we're seeing that at the moment. We've seen a little bit of dollar strength this morning, which normally impacts negatively on oil, but we've managed to sort of like pull above that. There's a little bit of Middle East tension growing between the US firing over an Iranian gunboat, so that could lead to a little bit of a positive impact on oil prices as tensions build. Other levels to watch above the 64.33 level, a break of there would then target 66.41 before 67.80, which is the yearly high. Below the 60.56 level, as we said, initial support may be coming in around about $58.50, but for me 57.16 is the real strong support level. That's the WTI crude oil. The Brent crude oil is trading at a premium, and we can see it here. It's trading at about a $3 premium at the moment, and the upward trending support line, we can see that price action is actually hugging it, and so there is a bit of potential here for this supportive trend line to add a bit of positive impetus to the Brent crude oil. Although that is quite a steep trend line, so I wouldn't rely too much on it because it's been drawn over the last year, and this is it's touched it 3 times, so it looks pretty good so far, but don't rely on it too much. Again, we can see a little bit of a head and shoulders type formation potential when we get the left shoulder, the head, the right shoulder is pretty negative here. or a pretty poor looking right shoulder really. So I'm not going to place too much emphasis on that. But as you can see, we've had the same sort of reaction higher over the last week, where we have seen, let's get the price label out there, the reaction from the swing low 63.92, so around about $64. We've seen a nice reaction higher, and we'll drill down again to the 4-hour chart to just give you the levels. So pretty much the same as WTI crude oil in terms of price action and momentum, and we've got the supportive level coming in around about $64. That swing low is 63.90, but $64 is a decent one. We're trading at around 65.72. Above 67.53 is really the level to watch in terms of resistance. Again, if we drill right down, we've got a double bottom formation, we've got the break, we've had the pullback here, and potentially looking for this to project higher, and potentially look at targeting that resistance at $67.50. Above there, we've got 69.67 as resistance, and then 71.04. Below the $64 level, if we can get a break of there, interim support comes in at 61.43 before 60.19, which again is that line in the sand equivalent of $57 on WTI crude oil. And then I would expect to see a bit of a vacuum move down towards the $57 on Brent crude oil. Thanks for joining me this week. I hope this has helped you, and look forward to chatting again next week.